we have these heightened release. And sometimes it's not necessarily obvious. This is where so often is the case, and this has been like part of me, the person I am, is how we use our mind to we use the mind and external circumstances to rationalize ourselves out of doing something we know we want to do, we feel inspired to do, and then we move with inspiration and then we don't follow through because, oh well, so and so said this, or da 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 da, or blah blah blah, or we make our own excuses through our own self-judgment patterns, through our own beliefs around who we are, or what chains we carry, in the form of limiting belief systems. And so this sort of cumulative year and this turning point cycle in our history, in our individual lives, we could be really reviewing lifelong patterns, and that, to be honest, I'm seeing like lifelong patterns, and then like adolescent patterns, and then since the awakening patterns, and then yeah, just literally like different turning points and shifts in my life. They're all coming back for review, and there again, part of the practice is to not go into the fear of them. So there is this sort of like little battle, perhaps, of us going, wait, can I really have that? Can I really go for this? Can I really be that free? And then still sitting with our shit, basically. If it's there, still sitting with those old fears, or, oh no, I'm not good enough, or no one will ever love me, or I'm always going to be too much, or I'm too sensitive, whatever it is, whatever limiting beliefs, assumptions we've been carrying about our own truth and about our own potential. This is a massive sort of leap for many to just be the truth of your knowing and to shine that truth in your knowing. And at the same time, congregate, come together in community. And that can be online community. That can be, but we do want physical community as well. And that, however, how we relate to our community, depending on the integrity and the truth of our own knowing, how we relate to our community can be different. So, even having a preconceived idea of what community looks like for this transition really might only limit our ability to step into the unknown and fully embrace that expandedness, fully embrace the receiving of the intentions that we've been pioneering and setting and creating for probably all of our existence, always, and yet at different points in our life kind of taking leaps and breaking free and working through consciously the densities, working through consciously the patterns that hold us back, the fearful patterns that, you could say really dominantly the fearful patterns of shame and guilt. And then after that, betrayal, deception, lies. Like, we have so many layers from inside ourselves. And that's the beauty of life. That's part of what allows us sort of to know that there's infinite creation. Once we can break through a few of our mental veils around what we expect of ourselves, or what we think, or what we've been told life is, if we can break through a few of those, then eventually, like, the sky's the limit as far as our ability to invite joy and abundance and greater well-being, greater radiance into our lives. But there's always going to be a bounce back. There's always going to be a feedback. There's always going to be a loop for us to review. And this is so much what I'm feeling, is like, this is a time for us to really sit with and to review the patterns that we're releasing. And it can be very, very visceral, and it can often be a little uncomfortable. And it was more intense last summer, and then last eclipse season back in January, and this one's like like, thank you, universe, This one's a lot more like on the extremity, like the fully aware the cycle's over, but now just looking at, oh yeah, I remember that energy, or oh yeah, I remember how that felt, and blah 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 blah, and I can only trace it back where it came from, and see all the, oh look, there's another memory, and da da da, and just seeing all of it, and like keep wrapping it up in a little love bubble, keep wrapping up the whole past and the whole, all the fear around the body and all the control around money, or all the worry around that stuff. So that's all just like a memory almost, right? And every once in a while it might hit up or might come up, and you just see it for what it is, and be like, you no longer serve me out. I love you. I know where you come from. I understand, and all that. And then you love it because there's really, really no fear left to hold it there. And then that's the kind of next level that we step into new cycles. And my expectation with sort of stepping into new cycles and feeling more liberated in our bodies is that our container, like our basically our own vessel of creation, which is our beingness and also the world around us, that the more clarifying we do, like the more clear we become, the more kind of crystallized in our own unique essence we are, even though, you know, we're always kind of like ebbing and flowing with it, the more centered we are in that, the more pulling power we have. So the more kind of well, that makes sense, you know, in a way, with more subtlety we can start to work with our creation, and then ultimately manifest more accurately. Yeah, and probably also start to access more kind of out there gifts, psychic abilities, intuitive abilities. And that's already coming in a lot, the ebb and flow with true kind of divine partnerships and connections, is that there is a real manifesting imagination, and or what is manifesting is like better than what the mind could have conceived or controlled. And then those like next level manifestations are when we start to consciously embody our kind of quantum field. Then those manifestations become the feedback to tell us it's working, that this is happening, and then it ushers a deeper connection. And ideally, the deeper connection is what ushers in those more subtle awarenesses, is what ushers in our unique kind of abilities as humans, right? As human beings on this planet undergoing this awakening journey, that are here to shine and share the next level of our human potential on this planet. And there's many disparities because part of it is very much reliant on how we harmonize with the planet herself, which is part of the whole like next level hippie movement, and environmental stuff shifting, and the economy kind of breaking down in a greedy, corrupted way, so that the humans that are taking on this evolutionary journey naturally with the planet start to become more of the dominant energy field here. And it's really, to me, destiny, you could say. Like, it's part of a divine plan for planet Earth, and that's almost, you could say, part of the contract for many beings to even embody in this realm, you could say, and endeavor a dissension path, and endeavor the world of darkness, fear, and separation, so that we can undergo this transformational journey and rise into the beings in the memory of who we are, from the memory of different dimensional realities, which when we're too in the depth of the darkness or under the veils, we are forgotten, right? And so there's that edge of the powerlessness and the fear, and yet there's hope. And that's something that's really beautiful about these times, and these really turbulent times, is that it's the hope that, like, the light in movements and beings that we're seeing, that are encouraging that extended light from within self. And that really is the kind of divinity, miraculousness of all of this, is like, you just live in the bliss of divine knowing. And and like, and there's still like little kind of like ruffles, but then you just move through those ruffles with greater grace and ease, and ideally love, that you extend love even amongst those situations through vulnerability and through honesty and integrity and compassion, and that we can connect more deeply and then expand more greatly from within these little tribes and movements and stuff like that. And then that will kind of ripple out and have I intuitively many months ago sensed that the grid was already kind of locking in and anchoring down the new grid, and that many of the kind of darker aspects were kind of exiting, you could say, just fleeing or leaving this realm. So we're moving up. You know, we're moving up, and yet with these August energies, with this eclipse season, we're really reviewing it, and then and new manifestations will continue to unfold and will be supported in new ways, and ways again that are kind of beyond some of our wildest dreams and imaginations, but really, really, really epic and fun and beautiful and awesome. And I look forward to seeing you guys here and out there in the world, and like doing fun stuff, probably on beaches and mountains and water and nature and plants and plant medicines and just glorious goodness on this planet, to keep spreading the love, because that's all it's about, you guys, is just spreading the love inside, to be like, you're all right, because I'm all right, because there were so many times where I didn't think it was all right. And then there were times where like my whole beingness was like, and then even when I was going through all this craziness, deep down, I knew I was all right. And so I want to tell you guys that even when you're like, why am I here? You're all right. You're just figuring it out like everybody else, like myself included. Because like, even this stuff, I think that's why I share so like fluidly and all the time, because it's fluid and all the time, and like I'm not even fixated, like so August, hey, woo, and then soon we'll be in September, and then it'll probably be a similar dialogue, but just maybe some new manifestations that I can share with you, and some new insights that just like unlock more portals in your mind, which make you feel like more of a superhero. And then we can be more like mythical creatures and superheroes. Exploring infinite space, you guys. I hope that was useful to you. Or maybe even a little entertaining. I don't know. But please subscribe and share and do all that juicy stuff, because I really, really appreciate it. You know, we can all pretend I'm too cool for school, but I'm just a normal human being who like is sad when people unsubscribe. I know. And happy when people do. So there's still a deeper spiritual practice for me to not give a shit whatsoever about any of the social media stuff, and just keep being badass in all of my many forms and spectrums, because like I knew I did good work for people, but there are lots of people who regularly call me batshit crazy. So I don't care what people think. But I do, because I love you and I want you to love yourself too. Love you guys. Speak real soon. Bye bye.